realize now that I did not realize then is that when you shot me, you gave me a gift. Look at me. I'm Black Superman.
Okay, here we are again talking about the Ray Fisher Black Superman controversy, and I will not dwell on this too long. If you want to see my full video to what I think about Ray Fisher, you can check that out in the comments and description below. Hashtag fuck Ray Fisher, hashtag I do not stand with Ray Fisher, and this is coming from another black man. My skin is black and I don't stand with a guy that's just pegging out misinformation, excuses, dumb tweets, etc. I need a little bit more than that. I need the receipts here. I need to see how Toby Emmerich, I need to see how Jeff Johns, I need to see how Walter Hamada completely sabotaged him to the 9th degree, and I need to see that formulated in pictures, screen caps, recordings. I need other informants there instead of people just saying, well, I'm black too, I'm gonna join your bandwagon. I need more proof. Even a Ray Fisher stan in my Twitter comments said, you know, I stand with Fisher, but he needs to come out more with more evidence, and that's exactly what I want. Opinions change on a dime. If he's actually right, I will side with him. Until then, I don't think he is. I think he is the boy who cried wolf. He's trying to get attention. He's trying to get clout. He's not doing anything to move on from this situation. He wants all the attention drawn on himself. And will there be productive changes made? Maybe. Maybe that's already happening. Let's talk about the Snyder stands real quick, and all you people doing the whole restore the Snyderverse tag. It's not all of you, but it's definitely a good bulk of you. I'm gonna be 100% brutally honest, and this might come off as an insult. You guys are dick fuckers. You really are. You're riding Ray Fisher's balls without thinking for yourself. You're living vicariously through another man that really hasn't proved anything beyond a shadow of a doubt of what we already knew, which was the fact that Justice League 2017 was a mess production wise. We already knew that. We already know that. We don't need it to be homed in any more than it needs to be, outside of the fact that yes, we have a company that's trying to move on from that and do better things. If they manage to do that, and they just announced DC Fandom, if they manage to bring this to new heights and announce a new film slate and announce new movies and bring that content to the masses this October 2021, then Ray Fisher is going to be full of shit, especially if they introduce shows that have more diversity. One thing that Ray Fisher is claiming is that there's not diversity for black actors, there's not diversity for black writers, but like I said in my last video, DC Revive Milestone Media, an African American centric comic book maker that was internal to DC. They also are doing a Static Shock movie. Michael B. Jordan, a black man, is producing. The chick that was the girlfriend of Barry Allen in Snyder Cut, she's coming back in The Flash. We also have the fact that Black Adam, The Rock, African American Samoan, he's working on a solo movie. We have all this representation, and then it culminates to Black Superman. Now, there's been some issues with this, and people were saying, well, you know, they're doing racist things with this character, and we don't like it. So I want to just hit the nail on the head and just dive straight into this topic. First and foremost, let me just say what I have to say about Snyderverse people again. I think you guys are scorned dogs. You're going to say anything. You're going to live vicariously through Ray Fisher. You're going to kick and scream and say the most stupidest, misinformed shit just to get your love back, which is the restore the Snyderverse. I know you want it, but there's more educated and smart ways to handle it and disagree, as opposed to living through another man that can't prove shit, right? And then you don't seem to keep the same energy because, of course, you're not going to have a problem with Gordon having his race changed in the Batman, and that's another universe too. You're not going to call that out. You're going to completely ignore that and say, I'm going to give Batman an exception to the rule. Gordon's not a main character. I don't have a problem with this. Of course, they can be as racist as they humanly possibly can, or they can blackwash all these characters and whitewash all these characters and and change the roles of the genders in Marvel, and I'm gonna be a Marvel stan now because DC isn't providing me with the content that I need. That's what you people are doing, and it's fucking hypocritical in my opinion. If you're going to go all the way for one thing, then you need to show the same energy for everyone else and say, this is my dismay, I don't like when Hollywood does this, etc. You know, hashtag, you know, I don't like when my characters are changed. At least those people, at least when they do it, and it can be annoying, but at least when they do it, they keep consistent, whereas these other people are just saying it just to say it to make some kind of statement. Also, I believe that people are frauds. Like I said earlier, you're going to go see the Batman and you're going to enjoy it, and your boycott is going to be 100% minuscule because you keep making this exception to the rule. If they don't bring back the Snyderverse, then we're not going to go see this. We're going to cancel HBO Max, but when the Batman comes out, you're going to go see that because, once again, Jedi mind trick. These people, when content is readily available, they will not stay away from it. They know they're low-key fans no matter how much they hate something or how much they hate a premise. And I understand, like Snyder, he has some cool ideas. I want to see Man of Steel 2. There was some neat ideas with Justice League Part 2 and Part 3, and there was some not neat ideas where Superman was apparently fucking Lois and Batman was fucking Lois, and Lois had Batman's kid, and there was baby mama drama. So, you know, there was cool things, there were bad things, but overall, Zack Snyder would have been seen as a visionary like Kevin Feige, and I think that's what DC lacks. At the same time, I do believe that DC Comics, if they want to choose not to work with Zack Snyder going forward, they have the 100% obligation to do so. I know it sucks, I know that might hurt. This happens all the time. Partnerships, podcasters, content creators, people that are collabing, things do not work out well, and if they want to choose to move on from that, they may very well do so. It might not be the answer you need, but it's the answer you need to hear. And I want to just stress that for the record before we get into the Superman stuff. Now, it's a few bullet points here that I'm going to go over, not spend way too long on them. People were saying that the Black Superman idea, them blackwashing Kal-El, was racist, Clark Kent. So I'm going to open my notes real quick, and I'm just going to, you know, siphon down the list because a lot of this is absolutely absurd. The first thing I want to talk about is the racist idea that them making a Black Superman is racist. It's not racist. It doesn't show prejudice or hate or discrimination. Actually, it's the opposite of that. It's showing that yes, they're representing this in full. It's going to be in another universe in full, and people are forgetting that they never said anything about this being Calvin Ellis at all. I think that's where folks set themselves up for disappointment. They thought it was going to be Calvin Ellis, but it's not. You could say that you wanted Calvin Ellis. You could say that this is tokenism. You could say that they are definitely race bending the character, but you cannot say there's malice or hate or oppression behind any of this. Actually, it's showing more Black characters in the light that they are pushing forward with the DCEU, and that's what people are forgetting. Once again, it's not racism, it's not hate, it's fucking tokenism. Get the goddamn terms right, you idiots. I know people are going to be asking, is it a reason for this? Well, it's their character, so I mean, if they want to do this with their own character, if they want to raise Ben and do all this, that's fine. Like I said, if you have a problem with this though, and if you're sort of gravitating towards Marvel, you need to understand they did this with characters like Ghost and all that stuff, and you need to keep that same energy before projecting it onto someone else. Don't say, well, because another company is being positive about it and giving me what I want, doesn't mean that it's something that I disagree with across the board. It makes your argument look pretty fickle, and it makes you seem like you can't stand on your own square. One argument we have here is someone said that they casted a Black Superman and they replaced Henry Cavill. One thing I must say is there evidence of them replacing Henry Cavill? Is there a statement that he's dropped from DC at the time of this recording? Is there any sort of proof of this outside of the fact that this Black Superman is going to be in another universe and Cavill's being replaced? There is no evidence. I don't see any evidence of this. There is none, and a lot of correlations are being made about, oh well, they plant this like on purpose with Cavill and his birthday, and they're replacing him on his birthday. This is fake outrage to me, because once again, they did not completely kick Cavill out of the door with any official statement. Until we see that, it's not true. And the other thing is that, of course, with this whole fake outrage thing, you have to realize this Black Superman is in another universe, and it doesn't impact Cavill's universe, meaning the door is open for him to come back, even if he's not doing any available projects right now for the DC Extended Universe. Another thing we also have to understand is that this idea was long in the works, long before Henry Cavill was having a lot of fucking birthdays coming up recently, so we have to put that into the mindset, the equation here, just saying, fam. Alright, now, someone told me, if they really respect black characters, why not respect them by making a movie about black characters like Calvin Ellis or Val Zod? What about Jon Stewart? What about Ryan Choi's Adam? Well, we don't know how that Green Lantern show is going to progress with other characters. They just started casting not too long ago. They recently casted Guy Gardner. We don't know the full cast. We don't know the full seasons. I will say just remain patient and see who shows up in that show. Also, why they're not doing other Black Superman characters, I have no idea. But one thing we cannot say is that we cannot say Calvin Ellis was on the books or Val Zod was on the books. If I said Zod-El earlier, then I apologize for that. We cannot take speculation as fact. Can we just like sort of get the record straight on that? Like, speculation is not a fucking fact of life. They never said anything about using these characters when they could have. They could have, but they didn't. And they never said anything or implied anything about it. I will understand the anger if they did. It means they wouldn't be fully transparent about it. At the same time, it's just something that we readily disagree with. Let's continue on about Ryan Choi's Adam and all that stuff. Well, Adam was Zack's idea, and they're not moving forward with Zack Snyder's ideas. Like I said, you can mutually decide if you want to work with someone or not. I know that is hard to take in, that is hard to deal with, that is hard without getting your feelings hurt. However, at the same time, if they want to do something with him in the future for the new film slate, who knows? I just think if they do, you're going to get madder, because you're going to say, well, now they're just stealing like Zack Snyder's ideas, and I'm not kosher with that. It's like, what do you people want? Like, what do you want going forward? Do you want people represented or not? Like, what is the big fucking problem? What is the big fucking deal? If they decide to go forward with that, shouldn't you be happy? You're never happy, because people online, they're never satisfied with anything. Moving on, Superman's origin is tied to his concealment of being white. No, it is not. Pa Kent and Martha Kent found Superman as a baby in a ditch, and they decided to adopt him and raise him. When Superman started to use his powers to move shit, pick shit up, throw shit, do all types of stuff, it was like, yeah, we need to tell this kid and find ways to conceal his powers and tell him that people are going to fear Superman, and that was not tied to his race. That could have been anybody, and they still probably would have took the baby, and the results would have still been the same. Superman, chill out with your powers, because if you're discovered, people are going to come after you, and that's not going to be a good idea, even though people are going to come after Metropolis anyway and become an imminent danger. You need to do something and stand up. That is Superman. Superman is hope, no matter who has the S on their chest. All right? Let's see, what is this last one on my motherfucking tablet? Do they have a vendetta against Henry Cavill? Well, look, I'll put it to you in a positive way, because I kind of roasted Snyder people for like half the video, right? And it's just, you know, I don't hate all of you, it's just some of you are definitely a couple of annoying fucks. So just for it doesn't apply to the people that are actually rational minded and they look at both sides and they know that they're a fan and they're going to see this stuff and they know that the only way to support Zack is by watching Snyderverse. I'm not talking to you people, I'm just talking to the straight up idiots like Uber Kryptonian on Twitter who will fucking say anything out of his ass, right? So the main thing to look at is that Henry Cavill is going to be fine. I know people think that he is mostly underutilized. I don't disagree that he could have been in more content. At the same time, he was The Witcher, he was in a lot of spy movies to my recollection, he was in Mission Impossible. The guy is definitely getting work. The guy is definitely rich. The guy is definitely famous. I don't think that he's completely being stepped on by WB. Other companies are taking other chances and opportunities with him, and he's getting work. So even if the narrative of WB hates Henry Cavill comes into play, I agree that it sucks that he's not getting Man of Steel 2, but if he's not out of the picture, if he's still Superman, then until we see all this stuff coming to fruition, I just refuse to believe that they actually hate the guy. I think more than likely because they want to keep Cavill on board, and they said several times in several interviews that Cavill's not done, then they more or less love him and they want to cut him a paycheck so he doesn't really go anywhere and decide to go over to the competition. I'm pretty sure they're trying to keep him out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as much as people want him to go there. So until, you know, all this stuff changes, because once again, at a certain point, let's remember, at a certain point we thought Ben Affleck was out of the Batman role entirely, and now he's coming back to do presumably his final Batman movie, which is The Flash. And I think The Flash is definitely going to change the entire timeline around, for better or worse. For better, we have to see, but one thing I do support is the Earth 2 connotations. I support the fact that we are going forward with different universes, and it's definitely different from Marvel, different Elseworlds. We're getting a sequel to the Joker. I don't know how Todd Phillips is going to pull that off, but I definitely want to see how it's all done. I think what DC should have done the first time around is be unique, be diverse, and be different from their competition, which is the sort of connective tissue that Marvel has, like from TV shows and from movies and all that other stuff. Like, Marvel did something unique that was lightning in a bottle, and the beginning rumblings of the DC extended universe didn't quite catch that for a lot of people. So what they wanted to do is start anew. The rest is just a wait or see affair. Let's see what happens. We'll see what occurs. If it goes downhill, if it goes uphill, we will not know until all this stuff is finalized. Until then, this is Renegade Operative signing off. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know. What do you think about Black Superman? And once again, hopefully all you people take care. I'm going to be playing Resident Evil Village tonight, and hopefully you enjoyed another session at the Real Talk Clubhouse. Oh, and before we actually close off the video, I just want to get the record straight that there is a Kal-El from Earth D who assumes the role of Superman, and he is black. Just saying, before people say that Kal-El's never been black before people say this has never happened in the comics before, do your research and understand that this is actually a thing and it does exist. And I just want to point that into the video as like driving the knife deeper into the foot, right? I just want people to know that, like, before they say this is just something out of the blue and out of nowhere and it's definitely never been done before in another universe, I want you to understand Earth D before we actually get into all the semantics and all that bullshit, right? So there it is, you know, black and white. I got the screen cap, dark as day, black as night. Here's the Black Superman that already existed in the comics that assumed the identity of Kal-El Superman right here. So, you know, don't be knocking at my door saying that yes, this is something that's never been done before. You know, here it is right here. All aboard the exposure train.